you actually had a huge show today and yesterday. Like, you guys have been covering it over on Crowder.
Yeah,
Wow.
doing marathons basically, like 4 or
Yeah.
5 hour long streams just covering
Insane.
this trial. This trial is riveting. It
It
really is.
is.
Like, it's more interesting than sports and politics and all that stuff. It's like
Yep.
because it really is, it's about our Second Amendment rights.
True.
That's what's on trial,
Yeah, yeah. You're right.
because it's such a clear cut, and we were talking about it before. There are camera angles of like
From
everything that happened.
every angle. It's
We almost have like a
self-defense.
3D scape of the entire incident, and
Right.
it's so clear
Yeah.
to just maybe it's just me, but it's so clear
Mhm.
self-defense. But we're going through this thing. I mean, it's a court. You have to go through all these proceedings and stuff, so it's
Sure.
not out of the normal to do this, but it's very riveting. And
I
everything's
didn't
hinging on this one clip right now, especially today, on this
Right.
one piece of evidence
Pixels.
and the way it was transferred between parties
I
and
don't
the
even think that should
pixelation.
have
And it's like
mattered. It shouldn't have
everything is
even
hinging on
mattered.
this.
It's like,
It's yeah,
okay, whatever, regardless. The HD version, the fuzzy version, every single thing shows that Rosenbaum chased him. He
yeah,
ran to the police. I didn't actually realize how close the police line was, but he
yeah.
was it was basically the next block over. Like,
It's
you
a
could see
block. Yeah,
that you could see the police cars. He's running to the police. And he's even saying, like, I got to get to the police. Someone actually
is it?
yells. I saw a clip of a video today over in Rakita's stream. They played it, and someone said, "Cranium that boy," which I don't know if you know what that means. That's basically like breaking his head open,
Yeah,
with the cranium, like
it's cranium.
cranium that boy. Yeah, it's like they were
Yeah,
chasing him to kill him. And someone asked him, he's like, "I'm going to the police. I'm finding the police."
yeah.
It's
That
like
was
he
Grosskreutz.
running to the police.
That was Grosskreutz before the
Yep.
whole beatdown. He was running after him and asking, "What did you do? What did you do? What's happening?" And he said, "I'm going to the police."
Yep. Which
And
what else
then you
was he
pull a gun
supposed to
on him.
do?
Okay.
Someone just attacked me. They tried to grab my gun. I shot him in self-defense. I'm gonna go right to the police. That's exactly what he was doing. And they were like, "We gotta stop him from going to the police and
Which are a
cranium
block
that."
away, which you can see
You could see them.
you can see them in the clip when he hits the ground and all the events happen. You can see
Mhm.
the police lights in the background. So
Yep.
it's not like they were blocks away, there's no cops in sight. He's not going to the police really, he's lying to you. No, he was going directly straight down the street to the police.
Yep. Every
Why would
video
you then
shows
try
it.
and beat him down before he gets to the police?
Yeah, exactly.
Just yeah. So
I
it's so clear. That's it's so clear that at this point, if you actually have watched the evidence, so many people have not. It's really
so
baffling to
many
me that
people
I
on the
guess
left
it's
haven't.
because I was watching it as it was happening because we were covering the riots as they were
Last
happening.
year. Yep.
So I've known all of these clips since they happened. We had all
Mhm.
these clips the day of, the next day.
Not
Information
according
came
not
out.
according to the Young Turks.
Right. Yeah. Oh,
According to the Young Turks, that
I'm
all just came
sorry.
out. All this video evidence. Wow, where did this come
Oh,
from?
I
Whoa,
guess you
my
have to be
goodness.
a journalist to figure out
Huh.
the story before you report it.
Wow.
Hmm.
I guess I'm a journalist now. Am I a journalist?
Yeah,
I
a
don't
little
even
bit.
feel I don't
Citizens
think
journalist.
I don't think I'm a journalist. No. I read other
Commentator?
people's I believe I'm more of a commentator
Mhm.
and like a gatherer of other people's work,
Yeah.
and I present it to the people that watch my show. I feel like that's more. I don't consider myself a journalist. I'm not going out in there doing things.
It's like
I had
Elijah Schaffer journalist. He's
he,
out there in
he
the
is
shit. He's
he
like
is a
getting
journalist and
stuff
a
done.
commentator. Because
Yeah,
he goes
a little
out
bit of
and
both.
does it. Granted, he's got a media pass and can handle things. I mean, but Drew Hernandez,
Yeah.
even Savannah Hernandez is getting out there doing stuff, and Jorge Ventura was on my show the other day. Like, he's going to the front lines. He's digging up actual stuff, and like, these guys are real journalists, and I really got to give
Yeah.
credit where it's due. And those guys are awesome.
I think even as a commentator or a presenter of news, it is your job as the literally the last buck. The buck stops there.
Yeah.
You're the last line for truth. So if you go out without the knowledge of what the things you are saying,
Mhm.
that's a problem.
Yeah. Okay.
You go out
So
like
mainstream media, basically.
mainstream media. Like that's why we've said it before. That's why Nick Rekieta's streams do so well. It's because they are knowledgeable
Yeah.
in the situation that's happening right now. They're all lawyers, so we get their perspective on it. You go to CNN,
Hmm.
MSNBC, it's the same news reporters, the same anchors that are saying the
True.
same crap that they say every single day. You're not getting anything new. That's why everybody goes to those streams. That's why they go to our
Yep.
stream. That's why they go to not mainstream. And
And you
that's
know
why they
what I
take away
love?
the dislike button,
They
so
they don't always agree. So over on Rakita's stream, like, he's
yeah,
got a panel of lawyers, all very on it and discussing what's going on in the case. They don't always agree. They've gotten
yeah,
into, I don't want to say heated arguments, but you could tell that they disagree often and are adamant in their positions, which is good. Yeah, I like hearing differing opinions on a show. I think that makes for a good show when you have people that disagree and then can continue doing a show later on. And that's
yeah.
why Rakita's stream, I think, is doing so well, because people aren't signing on and going, "Oh, this is just an echo chamber of Kyle Rittenhouse lovers," which, granted, all of them agree this is a clear-cut case of self-defense. And I just want to again give a shout out to Rakita, because I want people to just know this is where I've been watching it over on Rakita Law. I really am hyped for him. Nick is a great guy. He's got a lot of mouths to feed, so he needs all the help that he can get. But congratulations, Nick, you deserve it. And if you guys
Good
aren't
man.
watching the trial on Rakita's stream, are you even really watching it? Because they are giving you actual lawyer breakdowns of everything that's happening, and it's really a great way of seeing it. But I want to read this article. This is from the Daily Wire. Now, this is a penned letter, kind of an open op-ed to or about Kyle Rittenhouse by Nicholas Sandmann. So if you don't know who that is the Covington kid that was slandered, dragged through the media for a while about being this, I don't know, racist, I don't know, face punchable
Yeah.
person that he ended up suing the media and won because it was a defamation lawsuit. And it's interesting. So he wrote this, and I'm just going to read this all to you guys. All right. The parallels between me and Kyle Rittenhouse are impossible not to draw, wrote Nicholas Sandmann, the Covington Catholic high school student who became embroiled in a national story based on the false claim that he was the aggressor in a widely published exchange with a Native American activist, Nathan Phillips. Kyle was 17 years old when he became a household name after that terrible tragedy in Kenosha, Sandmann explained in an op-ed for Daily Mail. I was 16 years old when I was catapulted into the national conversation by a video of an encounter with a Native American activist on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. Salmon noted that Rittenhouse was almost immediately labeled a white supremacist and a domestic terrorist, and to many, my red MAGA hat clearly meant I was a racist. Kyle wasn't given his day in court by his critics, and neither was I, Salmon wrote. He argued the attacks on Kyle came from national news media, just as they came for me. And they quickly, without hesitation, because Kyle was an easy target that they can paint in the way that they wanted to. This is the problem with liberal media outlets in the United States. They want to get the story first, get the most views, make the most money, and advance the agenda from liberal patrons, Salmon stated, nailing it, by the way. My
Mhm.
goodness. These outlets cover themselves when they are wrong with small footnotes in the ends of long articles clarifying that new information has come out and they have updated their coverage.
We've seen
After
this so many times. So
countless
many times.
times,
They come out with
countless
the
times.
headline, "Racist, white supremacist, blank," and then later whenever the facts come out, "Oh, we changed the narrative over here. It's actually this." So
Oh
that they
yeah. Oh, by the way, it's
yeah,
and
after
and
all the damage has already been done, everybody's labeled them. It's too late.
I want to add, this isn't. He's not just talking about news media. The current president of the United States, Joe Biden, tweeted out, "How dare the sitting president of the United States not disavow white supremacy?" And he in this tweet was a little video, and in this video, it was about a minute long. There was a clip of Kyle Rittenhouse walking forward with his proper trigger discipline. You might have
Mhm.
recognized this. There's this picture of him wearing the blue operating gloves or whatever they are, surgical gloves, holding his AR in a proper way, as you should, without your finger on the trigger, with the barrel pointed down. Proper gun discipline. And so that is the now current sitting president of the United States, who has now called Kyle Rittenhouse a white supremacist, as he included him in that tweet, declaring that the then President Trump how dare he not condemn all white supremacy, which
he even did that verbally in an interview.
Times. He has multiple times. Biden did that. Biden called him a white supremacist.
He said, okay, this is what he said.
Clarify,
they asked him about Kyle Rittenhouse, and he said, well, I don't know all the facts around Kyle Rittenhouse, but why hasn't Donald Trump condemned the militia and white supremacy?
Right.
So basically, he not directly calling him a white supremacist, but saying, I don't know anything about him, but white supremacy.
Right.
As in, he's somehow connected to white supremacy or the militia. These are three different things. This is Kyle Rittenhouse,
right,
himself alone. The militia separate,
mm-hmm.
white supremacy separate. These are not the same thing. That's what he did. That's what he did in this tweet. That's what he did in that interview. Was kind of connect them all, not specifically, but that's what he means.
Including, see, that's a little more vague. So it could be argued that it was like, well, it wasn't. He wasn't talking about Kyle, but
militia, white supremacy.
The tweet was talking about white supremacists, and then the video was an example of all the different white supremacists, and Kyle should never have been included that in the first place ever, because there's no evidence. There's nothing pointing that he's some sort of white supremacist. It has nothing to do with race. He feared for his life and defended himself, period. It doesn't matter who was attacking him. But for some reason, they think this is some sort of a racial issue, but they won't let that go. All right, let me continue reading this article here. Just get that back here. There we go. Okay. So after arguing that news shouldn't be a scoreboard that constantly changes, Sandmann said that every single label on Kyle as a terrorist, white supremacist, school shooter in the streets of Kenosha will only ever be withdrawn after the damage has been done. And that's key right there. They don't care. The damage has been done. These people out there that are against Kyle, they've got this in their head, and they're sticking to that. There's women that are holding these signs calling the people that he killed heroes, defending how they selflessly jumped in front of this wild man with an AR-15, waving it around. They saved countless lives. What?
They're likening the deaths of these three criminal rioters, or the two, and then one is injured.
Right.
To white people that got lynched in the 60s and the 50s, for people that stood up for civil rights back then. They're likening these rioters to those deaths.
So that's under the assumption that those people were there to only protest for Black Lives Matter, but they weren't protesting. They were rioting. They were burning down Kenosha,
setting fires in a trash can. Like, what? That's not protesting.
Setting fires to a car lot that had Black Lives Matter on the right front and center on their sign.
Yeah, it's just mayhem. It's just anarchy.
Yeah, they wanted to burn it down. They're not rioting for Black Lives Matter either. I mean, rioting in general, it's not a good look. All right, and you were there to riot. You weren't there to protest for Black Lives Matter. Anyway, continuing on. Let's see. Sandmann then spoke out against specific figures. In our hyper-polarized society, the first impression of Kyle has been set in stone, probably for the rest of his life. So to President Joe Biden, LeBron James, Congresswoman Ayanna Presley, and every other commentator, please be quiet. Yep. Sandmann discussed LeBron's statements on Rittenhouse emotional testimony before arguing that it's obviously to the trauma associated with this event and how it severely affects Kyle. For those who don't know, LeBron James was an absolute jackass when it comes to this, because he said that they were crocodile tears and that Kyle Rittenhouse must have ate a lemon head beforehand. But of course,
what a person to talk about crocodile tears.
Every
time he vaguely gets brushed. I was so injured. Stop it.
You blow on him wrong and he falls over in a foul and personal foul, and they give it to him too, which is just embarrassing. What a douchebag. And like the cop that saved a woman's life. She saved a woman's life from being stabbed.
Yep.
Or I'm sorry, it was a male.
He
saw a woman going to stab someone. White supremacy.
Yeah, well, clearly.
White, because it was
Don't worry about the
woman
girl that was saved.
saving about to stab a black woman. That if they want to talk about race, like technically he saved a black woman's.
It's all negativity.
He saved a life from another human that was going to stab him. Like I saw the whole black thing. I mean, I know it's kind of in your name, Quarter Black, but I know it's kind of a joke. But you know, it's like it's so silly. Even your name,
it's ridiculous.
It's kind of silly
it's
because
ridiculous.
You're Garrett and you're awesome and your quarter blackness.
That's the joke. It's like it doesn't matter.
Know.
It's so pointless.
Right.
It doesn't mean anything.
It's like in the face and just ridiculous. But yeah. Anyway, continuing on here. Let's see. Taking a life for any reason sticks with someone forever. And yet the liberal elites would rather turn it into a joke for likes, Sandmann said. This guy is on point. I got to just say real quick. Not only does Kyle have to deal with that, but it is compounded with the overwhelming stress and trauma of the character assassination taking place against him. Dude, this guy is so on point. And he's a young kid, too. This is Sandmann. Yeah. You know,
what is he, 20 at this point?
Yeah, he must be.
He said it was 4 years ago, I think.
Mm-hmm.
3 or 4, maybe. So he's almost 20.
Point. And that's what I was talking about. PTSD, the blood of those guys' hands are always going to be on Kyle's hands forever, always, because he did kill them in self-defense because they were very clearly coming after him. So say what you will about the people that he killed. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Those faces, the stain of the feeling of I took a human life is, I don't know what that feels like. I can't even imagine what that feels like.
I don't know Kyle, but somebody that seems to be so caring for others. He completed a fire training course, some military cadet courses, policeman courses, like a lifeguard.
Yep.
So for somebody, I don't know him, like I said, but it seems for all outward appearances, everything he's been doing is to save and help people. And for the day leading up until the events, it was all to help the community that he lives in, his family lives in, he works in.
But he crossed state lines.
Oh, he crossed it with a gun. No, he didn't.
These people, they don't care.
Yeah. And it's sad people don't take 2 seconds to look into the situation. Look into the situation. Watch one of the videos. Read something on it. There's so many people that just don't. And they just go right off and say, he killed black people. It's like, dude, how?
I don't know where
the amount of people that say that.
It's nuts, dude.
It's staggering. It's ridiculous.
Really crazy. All right, so he continues. He says, Sandmann then continued to discuss the subject of defamation cases, describing them as some of the hardest cases to win. I personally am involved in 6 media lawsuits as January approaches, marking 3 years since the confrontation took place at the March for Life, Sandmann stated. So if Kyle is prepared to take on another burden in his early life with the acceptance that it might result in nothing, I answer, give it a shot and hold the media accountable. And I'm going to continue reading. I just want to add one thing real quick. Kyle, we all have your back. Okay. We all have your back. I thought you were innocent from day one. There's a lot of people turning around, which I love to see. All right. I don't want to, like, you have to allow people to change. There's a lot of evidence that came out and made it very clear. Granted, as we noted earlier, most of us already saw this evidence. If you were just paying attention at all, you would have seen that he was in clear-cut self-defense. But Kyle, I'm serious. The defense motion for a mistrial today, not a mistrial with prejudice, which I think they should have done. I think that's
they should have done that.
They should have done it with prejudice because it was very clear this is a prosecution, not just a trial to see if it was self-defense. They are trying to prosecute this guy with prejudice, and it's very clear. It is political. It is not about whether or not he was in his right to do so. They know that he was, and they are just trying to nail him to the wall. Okay. And they went for mistrial, which would mean that they would have to start the trial over again completely. Everyone would be the same, but they argued that it's because they wanted the evidence to be on even keel on both sides so that everyone had the same video that wasn't altered, which I mean,
With
the fact that
prejudice, they should do with prejudice because they've already disturbed his character.
exactly.
He's been thrown through the mud for a year straight already. And then in this case, this trial,
Yeah.
all this evidence has come out and it's been misconstrued and manipulated and zoomed in and super scrutinized for this
Yep.
single like 2 pixels. It's going to be so hard to get another jury that's not
That's a good point.
already affected. So that's what they should go for with prejudice, because at this point, I would love for it to come back with the jury and them to say, he's acquitted, not guilty, because that's the best option. Because then you could have that to say, look, I'm not guilty.
Yep.
Because either way, it doesn't really matter. The news, people on Twitter, they're going to say he's a murderer anyways,
Oh yeah. They have
regardless.
for a year.
So at this point, just go with prejudice. And I'm hoping so. I was watching the judge and he is on the edge.
I
He is
know.
so close. And
He's
I
like,
feel like he
you can
doesn't
tell.
want to.
Right. He wants the judicial
He
system
wants it
to
to
work.
go through.
He's an old school judge. You could tell. He's like,
Yeah.
I believe in the process. He clearly does. But I feel like the prosecution is really, they're just right in his face nonstop. And he's like, are you seriously still smacking me?
Yeah.
Like I'm
said
still
a day of reckoning.
What did that
Did
mean?
you see that?
What did that mean?
So he was talking about how they keep bringing this evidence up.
Right.
And he was saying, like, I'm telling you, you keep doing these things, you keep crossing the line. I'm warning you multiple times. The day of reckoning is going to come. And I'm like, when? What day is that?
What?
Is it today?
Yeah.
Is it tomorrow?
Yeah.
Come on. Because it's like the
Yeah.
third or fourth time that the judge has almost been going to a conclusion that we're all like, hey, okay, you're going to the conclusion. And then right at the last second, he gets talked to by the prosecution too long. And then he goes, all right, well, I'll allow it for now.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I need you to hit the hammer,
No.
Like, tell these guys no, they can't do that.
That's
So
a little frustrating.
Maybe he's biding his time. He's letting it build up. So it doesn't look like he's just off throwing it, dismissing it too early. He's
Right.
building up this kind of case in his own head going, look, I gave you this warning.
Yep.
We took it to the jurors, came back. You guys squabbled over this piece of evidence right here. Again, last warning, day of reckoning.
Yeah.
He was even telling him, like, if you want to go down this route, it's not going to work out for your prosecution.
Yeah.
And he still wanted to go down the route. So maybe
he was
he's
saying something about wanting to hear the verdict first before he makes like
I don't know
a
how
choice.
that works.
So what if he does that mean that he thinks that Kyle is not guilty and wants the jury to come to that conclusion, and if they don't, he's going to intervene? Or
Yeah,
like,
I don't
you know
know.
what I mean? Like what how
It
what
sounds
can he
strange to
do?
me for the judge to hear the verdict and then say, well, actually, my verdict's this.
Right.
I'm not a legal expert. So
I'm not a legal
works.
expert either. This is a question actually for Nick Rakita that I could probably send him a message and just ask him. But it's his one of his kids' birthdays today, which is kind of cool. So he's
happy birthday.
I don't want to interrupt at all, but he's been streaming more than anyone I thought possible.
He's been doing like double streams too, so he'll
it's insane.
end it with the invoice of lawyers, as they say.
Yeah,
and then he'll do another follow-up stream, just him,
just to finish up the super chats. What a great! That's what
Hustle.
I'm talking about. That's
Good
what I'm
time.
talking about, dude. Read all the super chats. This dude is he really cares about his audience, and I appreciate that about him. All right, let me finish reading this article with Sandmann here. He says one of the saddening parts of this media onslaught is that it has taken young people like Kyle and myself to expose how corrupt the media really is. From my own experience, I know this cannot be easy for Kyle. While I waited to comment on the facts of Kyle's case until the trial ends, I cannot hold back on the media's public execution of him before the trial has concluded. At this time, I would like to use my platform to let Kyle know I am here for you. And if you ever would like to reach out to me, I am the only person our age to have any idea of how the media is treating you, he wrote. The way the media has treated you is terrible, and you don't have to face it alone. I already respected this guy, Sandmann, before on how he handled himself and how he, was composed. But now hearing the way that he is aware of what's going on with Kyle, the way that he is aware of how the media lies and spins things. It's really refreshing because this is a different generation than me. I'm in my late 30s. You are too, aren't you? Like
I'm about to be 30.
early 30s,
Yeah.
okay, late 20s.
Late
Still,
20s.
I mean, that's a decade younger than you. You know, almost 2 decades younger than me, and it's refreshing to know that there are younger humans like Kyle that's going through this, like Nick here. It's great to hear that from a new generation come up, that they're aware, and it's good.
Well,
It
and
feels
what
good.
better person to like he said, to sympathize with him.
Yeah.
Nobody on the earth is his age now and has had this happen to him in this recent time frame.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I hope they do have a conversation, and
Me too.
you know, he needs somebody that he could like really talk to that has gone through the same kind of stuff that he has. And
Yep.
yeah, I think
And
he
if
reaches out.
Kyle ever wants coffee, Kyle, I got you, dog. You don't
And
have to, as long as I have a coffee company, you won't have to pay for coffee ever again. You let me know,
get this
dog,
mug.
and I will send
Oh,
you some
beautiful.
coffee. And that
Don't you
sexy
love
Made
that?
in America mug.
That
That's clean, isn't it? That's clean.
bam.
I love that zoom in. That's
Yeah, it's
good.
really
Wait,
good.
hold on. Wait, let's get a here, bring it
Bam.
back. Bring it back.
Mhm.
All right, do it again.
Bam.
Wow, that is crispy.
That looks good.
Anyway, I love that. I want to show you. So we've got some clashes now, and people are getting arrested outside the courthouse. Now, it was relatively quiet the entire this trial's been going on for nearly 3 weeks now.
Yeah.
Now we're into like 2.5 weeks. Basically today actually is the 2.5 week mark. And now this week it really seems to be upping the amount of protesters outside. And there's also not just protesters, also people that are supporting Kyle. And they are, of course, being ridiculed. I had a video. I couldn't find it in time, but there was a video of people surrounding one woman who had a sign in support of Kyle, and they were screaming with megaphones in her face, "Black Lives Matter." How that pertains to this case, they are delusioned to think that because somehow this pertains to this. But 2 Black Lives Matter supporters were now arrested today because they actually body slammed a journalist. And the video is actually kind of ridiculous. I do have a video of them being arrested, but it's this video that I'm going to show you guys.
I've not seen this.
All right, so this here is this is actually the moment. So this guy is the one who gets arrested. All right, it's not loading.
He's got him under the waist there. He's gonna
okay.
He lifts him up, and then
I don't know why it's not loading, but this guy right here stopped this guy because this guy went to grab a journalist, and this dude just went like this, like separated him. Like, no, like, dude, don't go after this woman. And the guy with the backpack then turned to him and said, "Oh, I'm gonna mess you up." And this guy had his hands up just like this the whole time. Like,
what
don't
kind
mess
of
with
moron
me.
do you
Don't
have
mess
to
with me.
be?
Don't
There's
mess with me.
cameras everywhere.
And then he proceeds to pick him up here. And let me see if it's gonna load. It's not gonna load. I don't know why it's not loading, but that's all right. I mean, but this guy picks him up and slams him down.
Send me the link. Maybe I could play it.
Gets arrested. Here, let me send it to you. I'm gonna just post it in the private chat here.
Yeah.
So I just don't understand, like, what. Oh, here we go. It's of course playing.
Did it work? Cool.
So he's getting aggravated. He comes back, starts grabbing her stuff. This dude's like, "Come on, dude, back up." Instantly starts punching him and slams him.
Ooh.
I think breaking his camera potentially. This dude didn't even fight back. He was trying to help that woman. And props to that dude. I gotta say, props to this guy for him stopping this guy from accosting that woman who was, "Get away from me." You could clearly hear her say it. "Get away from me. Get off of me." He was clearly agitated, obviously had some adrenaline pumping through his body, and went to attack this woman.
By the way, these are the good guys. These are the guys fighting for, for justice and peace.
Racial justice. Yeah, right. They're not fighting for peace. But anyway, that guy ended up getting arrested. And then, of course, a crowd started forming around the police that were arresting him, rightfully so, because he body slammed a dude that was trying to help a woman who was being accosted by the guy. All right.
How do you do that in front of cameras? Like, everybody
I don't know.
sees you.
People
Like,
are
what is
people
going
are
on in your
stupid. They don't think about that. When you have adrenaline going, especially in your body, like you don't,
I've never thought of body slamming somebody.
Logic. Well, that's because you're probably a seemingly nice guy. I don't know.
I mean, there was one time I was in Austin. There was a guy. I was like,
go on.
I got pretty close. I didn't know. I didn't know.
But
he followed us all the way back to our car after it changed my mind, and he was like yelling at us, and I was like, all right,
I'm sure when you were in Chaz last year, a couple people wanted to body slam you.
It got kind of hairy, it got a little spicy.
Sketchy, man. I just want to say, awesome. We have 1776 viewers right now. I just looked over and I saw 1776. That's awesome. Cool moment.
You got to call it out.
I got to call it out. I got to call it out. I love that. Thank you guys for tuning in. But here's another look. This is tensions rise between Rittenhouse supporters and protesters as the first day.
This is the energy I want.
This
the kind of energy I want.
I mean,
I want the nation coming together.
Are tensions rising, or are they slowing down? And
what if they did? What if they just got like you're all so mad, and then they just start going.
They just start making out. I mean, and I have to show you guys the responses on. Why is it not loading? The responses on this. It's just like it's so cute.
Oh no.
Oh man, there's just so many of these like lovely, but this is the energy though, I like this.
You gotta come together,
I mean, they're seemingly mad at each other and stepping up and
No, the guy on the left was like, hey, I got a date later, could you smell my breath? And he's like, yeah,
your breath smells good, man.
Yeah,
your breath is good. It's pretty good. You know what? Obviously they were not in making out form. They were really pissed at each other and probably talking a lot of shit to each other. Pardon my French. But then
body slamming
there is moments that we're seeing. Someone bought pizzas for them, and they were all sharing it.
That's good. Breaking bread together,
dude.
Break
this is
all
cheesy
bread together.
This is a mixture of the Black Lives Matter supporters, or I guess anti Kyle Rittenhouse people, because it's hard to say, because it doesn't make sense that they're just Black Lives Matter supporters, because this trial has absolutely nothing to do with Black Lives Matter at all. But these guys are all sharing.
Everybody loves pizza.
They're not fighting. Yeah, pizza. I mean, it's pizza. Who doesn't love pizza? I love pizza. Everyone should love pizza. One of my mods just sent me said I missed one of the best ones. Okay,
see it.
Hold on. This is pretty good actually. Why isn't this loading? There we go. There we go. Did it just?
I just have a white screen. Just a beautiful white screen.
Hold on. Why do I have a white screen? Boomer moment right here.
Is this heaven?
Are we in heaven right now?
Are we in heaven now? Is this real life?
OnlyFeds. That's pretty good.
OnlyFeds.
I like it. Thank you, Nacho.
It almost looks like a mirror. Like it's they're the same person, just one's white and one's black.
That I love that too. That energy right there. Because we're all one.
We're all the same. But
what is it? We're all here together in this.
We all love pizza, man. Let's just eat some pizza.
Can we all just come together and feel the love?
Body
tonight. Body slam. Ooh. Yeah, well, I see now. I just got to say it. Like that guy body slammed him. That one dude is an asshole. Sorry for my dude. I don't like to swear, but
sometimes,
dude, that guy is. To do that, to be so angry that someone he punched him first and then body slammed him, and it's like, dude, why you gotta go that? Why you gotta do that? What's the point? What is that doing? Oh, you're a big man, huh? Man, but saying that now, I'm not just gonna suddenly equate all of these Black Lives Matter supporters or the people that are not on Kyle's side to that.
That's also dangerous. I think that's not a good thing to do.
I just want to call that out.
Here is now all evil. Like no,
that's something that a lot of people do on both sides. All right,
On both sides.
everybody has been known to do this, so I'm kind of calling out everyone here right now. You know, you can't.
I think there
you
should be
cannot
more
do that.
pizza parties at these
More
protests.
pizza
We need to bring
parties.
more pizza, and I think more
Bring
people
on the
would come
pizza
to go.
parties.
And just have conversations over pizza because you can't fight and body slam each other if you got a slice in your hand.
Yeah, there we go. Well,
That's what we need to do.
I have a feeling that guy would have body slammed him if that dude had even if he had a pizza.
You finish it first.
You finish it first. You know, you can keep the crust hanging out of your mouth if if you're impatient.